Welcome back, everyone. If you're a focused learner looking to really nail down the intricacies of cost accounting, you are absolutely in the right place today. In this explainer, we're diving deep into a guided masterclass on demystifying cost estimation traps. Specifically, we're going to unpack the crucial difference between correlation and causation when you're evaluating regression outputs. Now, this is one of those areas where the math looks super straightforward, but the underlying business reality and, honestly, the tricks examiners love to use to test you on it can be surprisingly complex. So let's get into it.
Here is our agenda for this explainer. First, the foundation. Second, the spectrum. Third, the first trap. Fourth, the second trap. And finally, exam application. Starting with Section 1, the foundation, let's define our core concepts. Okay, so in a practical business context, correlation is really just a way to measure how closely two different data points move together. And the absolute key word here is linear. We are strictly talking about a straight line relationship. Whether you're looking at, say, production hours versus utility costs, or units produced versus maintenance expenses, correlation is basically asking, how strongly do these two variables link up to form a straight line? Now, to take that abstract idea and turn it into hard data, we use something called the correlation coefficient. You'll universally see this represented by the lowercase letter r. This is the exact number management accountants use to quantify risk and movement. When you plot your independent and dependent variables on a scatter diagram, your r mathematically expresses exactly how tight that straight line relationship actually is. Moving on to Section 2, the spectrum. Let's visualize this coefficient. Picture the far end of our spectrum. We have an R value of exactly 1. When R equals 1, we are looking at a perfect, direct relationship. If you plot this out, every single data point lines up perfectly to form a straight line sloping upward. Basically, as your independent variable goes up, your dependent variable goes up in exact, predictable lockstep. It is the strongest possible positive relationship you can ever find in your cost data. On the exact opposite end of that spectrum, we've got an R value of -1. This represents a perfect inverse relationship. So if you plot an R of -1, you're again going to see a perfectly straight line, but this time it's sloping downwards. As one variable goes up, the other goes down in perfect proportion. Remember, the absolute value of R tells you the strength of the relationship, so -1 is just as strong as a +1. They just move in opposite directions. And right smack in the middle, we have an R value of 0. When you plot a data set with a correlation coefficient of 0, the dots just look like a random cloud. You cannot draw a meaningful straight line through them at all. This is the mathematical representation of having no linear relationship. But hold on a second, because this right here is exactly where things get tricky. Which brings us to Section 3, the first trap, misinterpreting R equals 0. I want to pose this question directly to you. Think about this. If you run a regression analysis on your cost data, and your correlation coefficient, your R, comes back as exactly 0, does that mean there is absolutely no relationship at all between those two variables? Take a second and really think about that. The answer? No, absolutely not. A coefficient of 0 does not mean the variables are entirely unrelated. It strictly means that any relationship that might exist cannot be expressed as a linear equation. There could be a massive, highly predictable relationship between those two variables. Maybe it forms a U-shape or some kind of exponential curve, right? But because it's not a straight line, our linear measurement of R just registers it as a 0. So never assume R equals 0 means the variables operate totally independently. It just means a straight line isn't the right tool to measure them.
All right, Section 4, the second trap. Correlation is not causation. We've got to completely separate these two ideas in our minds. Correlation simply tells us that two variables happen to move together. We see it in the data, the math confirms it. Causation, however, means one factor is explicitly causing the other one to move. And listen, simple regression analysis, which we use to find our cost equations, is brilliant at finding correlation, but it is completely incapable of determining causation. Let's look at a classic business illustration that breaks this down perfectly. Think about a local car wash. If you track car wash sales volume alongside days of sunny weather, you're going to see a massive correlation. Your R value will be incredibly close to 1. They move together almost perfectly. But let's apply some logic to that movement. We know they move together on a graph, sure, but regression doesn't tell us why. that apparent relationship might actually be caused by a totally separate outside factor. Or, as in this car wash case, the relationship only flows one way. Yes, sunny weather might prompt people to go wash their cars, but car wash sales absolutely do not cause sunny weather. I mean, no matter how many cars you wash, you literally cannot force the sun to come out, right? Regression identifies the mathematical movement, but you, the management accountant, have to understand the underlying business reality.
And finally, Section 5, Exam Application. Strategies for test day success. So, how does all this translate into actionable exam strategy? Well, when you see a question about evaluating regression analysis outputs, especially when dealing with mixed costs, mastering these specific constraints we just talked about is going to save you some critical points. Here are your essential test day takeaways for evaluating those regression outputs. First up, remember that any linear relationship you establish is valid only across the relevant range of your dataset. Let's say your known data is based on output between 5,000 and 20,000 units. You cannot safely use that exact same equation to project costs for 200 units or 100,000 units. Your projections absolutely must lie within that established high-low range. Second, always keep in mind that regression assumes past relationships are a valid basis for future projections. If the whole business environment shifts drastically, your historical model just breaks. And lastly, burn this one into your memory. Regression does not determine causality. Just because X and Y move together in an exam scenario, do not let the examiner trick you into saying X caused Y.
I want to leave you with one final, provocative thought to take back to your studies. When you run your analysis and that correlation coefficient comes back as exactly 0, do not just throw the data away. Ask yourself, what hidden, powerful, nonlinear relationships might be lurking in this data, just waiting to be discovered? By understanding the limitations of linear correlation, you really open yourself up to seeing the true story your numbers are trying to tell you. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep up the fantastic work, and I will see you next time.